88.7 Adelaide's Coast FM.
All right, this is Let the Music Lift You Up with me, Barb Webb. I am here until 6 o'clock tonight. However, saying that, I do have a special guest. So, Phil Salter, welcome to Adelaide's Coast FM.
Greetings and salutations, Barbara. Thanks for having me. It's good to be here.
That's
in a real. I don't
live.
spend much
You're
time.
live.
Yeah, live in a radio station. I've done some phone interviews, but it's really cool being inside a radio station.
Yes, it is. It is. We've got a beautiful couple of studios down here, and it's absolutely beautiful. And the parks outside are fabulous. So, Phil, I got you through Blue Shamrock Music.
Yeah, absolutely, and thanks to them. Otherwise, I would not be here.
Well, Stephen Brady, he looks after me very well. Quite frankly, yeah. And so he does thank Coast
He's done
FM.
some good stuff for me getting my songs out around the world, actually. Yeah.
Eventually I'll meet Stephen.
Yeah.
When I get to Sydney, I will actually meet Stephen because I'll make a habit of getting to the studios and maybe just turning up and say, hey, this is me. So, Phil, let's talk a little bit about how you got started in the music industry.
Talk about me. I've been playing guitar since I was 12, acoustic guitars, and got into playing in folk clubs. Around the time I was 18, I was, not a good player particularly, but good enough to get out and do some folk clubs. I remember Ginger's Coffee House in Melbourne Street. Local people might remember that. And Fascinate and Rhythm Across the Road and a few things. So just some folk stuff for a few years. Then rock bands in the early 80s. I don't know, I started talking about myself too much here, Barbara. I suppose that's what we're here for, though.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, I went to I wound up going to Teachers College to be a musician around that same time. I was about 22 years old. I wanted, to be a musician and be a music teacher, so I did a lot of study. But played in rock bands through the early 80s, trucks and PA systems and road trips and so on. And then soft rock, pub stuff. And all the time I was trying to write songs. Just writing stuff down, getting ideas, but I didn't really know how to write songs. I've got did some recordings way back, and you listen back, and actually I was just listening to some Jimmy Buffett in the car on the way over, and he had some very old demos. He was influenced by Gordon Lightfoot, and I was listening to Jimmy talk about some of the bad recordings he did. So I got some of those too hidden away in the vaults.
Which is great.
Yeah. What happened then? So a teaching career in music all the way along, and writing and recording at times. But it's only been the last couple of years that I've finally been in a space I learned how to write songs. I learned about the craft, I suppose, mid-90s really. I always talk about when a painter learns to paint, they learn to mount a canvas, and they paint the mat on the back, and they do a sketch, and they know how to mix their oils, and that's the craft of painting. Then there's the talent, but there is a craft of songwriting, and I didn't learn that until mid-90s, around 2000, and then I started to write stuff. Actually, I got in touch at Music Business Adelaide was the thing that ran in town with all the local music industry people around 95, 2000. And I got in touch through that with a publisher from Taiwan called People Music. And they had a representative in town. He was looking for songwriters to write canto pop music for the Taiwanese market. And he started sending me down cassette tapes of canto pop music, and I'd listen to the style. Couldn't understand a word. It's a Mandarin Chinese, but got the idea of the style, and I started writing and recording songs on a computer, like MIDI file making, not audio recording, but MIDI file, make up the drum tracks and make up the bass. And I'd hire a singer to do the, usually a lady, Deb Brunot, to do the audio back then. And they were good songs. I had some nibbles from Taiwan about that. I remember the fax machine going off one night in the middle of the night and going, hey, look, we've shortlisted one of your songs, Phil, for one of their major artists. I have no idea who it was, but it didn't go. But it was really, that's when I knew that I was on the right track, that I'd learned, the craft sort of thing, yeah.
Well, kids out there wouldn't know what a fax machine is. Not these days.
Oh, listen, young'uns, there used to be this little machine, and you would go, the paper would come. Anyway, never mind. You can Google it, I suppose.
That's really funny. But so you've got a bachelor's degree in music education.
Finished college, actually. Yeah, finished college, graduated. It was a rat bag, but I got through. Yeah.
Weren't we all rat bags in our younger years?
A little, yeah.
You know, who wanted to conform in those days? But never mind, it doesn't really matter. And are you still commercial music at TAFE?
No, that finished 2000. Yeah. Then I'd gone from schools into TAFE at Salisbury, sort of recruited by the local music industry, Oz Music and the people at TAFE there. And I was lecturing in management and copyright, doing ensemble performance with the kids and how to write charts and how to be a professional musician, basically. That was a fantastic time. I had a good time there. So 95 to 2000 particularly. A lot of things changed, and next thing you know, that really wasn't functioning. So I wound up leaving that facility and going back into teaching, which wasn't such a good idea in hindsight, actually, you know. But,
so do you go to retreats to learn how to write music, or do you need to have that background?
You know, if you get a big recording deal, certainly in the States, I don't know if they do it here, and they will buddy up their artists and their songwriters with established writers, and they do send them to songwriting camps. I mean, I should be so lucky. Hey? Which actually sort of leads me to that point about, I'd mentioned to you about, you know, you work all your life, you're trying to achieve something, and am I going to get anywhere? Then it's been a bit quiet the last year for me, and I've been trying to keep working, keep recording, because I've got a nice little buzz on, got some songs out, and folks like you look up, interview me, and all of a sudden the universe is knocking me on the head, because I got an email out of the blue in December. I thought it was a junk mail, spam mail. It said it was from a recording company in Nashville, Music Row, Tennessee, Nashville. And I thought, no, it's just spam. But I almost deleted it. You know, I looked at it and I started to Google these people. And I thought, I think this is real. So I emailed them, and they had found out about me, and they were interested in me and my music. I don't know how they do that. You know, I'm doing something right if they found me, little old me in Adelaide. And it's a bit of back and forth with emails, and look, they didn't actually wind up picking me up for now, they said. But for me, that, as a little old Phil in Adelaide, that was just a monumental moment, the epiphany of like, well, I'm doing something right. If Nashville, and they knock on my door, so we'll see about that. Maybe that'll pick up again another time. But I think I segued away from your question, actually.
Well, what I say is doors always open when it's the right time.
Yeah, and the universe is talking to me, and then then Stephen Brady organised Shamrock Music. You mentioned, organises this out of the blue, and then shortly, how long? 2 months ago now, a phone call. I won't say who it is, but I've been interviewed by a local TV station for a music program. Done the interview.
But I know who that is. It's community TV.
Yeah, indeed.
Which is Channel 44.
Indeed. Thank you. So they have interviewed me, and they're going to put it when they edit and put it down. I don't know, it'll be a couple of months before it gets to air. So there's some really nice things happening. The universe is telling me, Phil, get back on with it, mate. You know,
well, that's
crack
probably
on.
about time to do it, isn't
where
it?
it is. Yeah.
Yes.
It's about funding to record is probably one of the biggest problems I'm having right now. But it would be very, very nice if a record company picked me up and decided they'd like to pay some bills.
Well, that would be nice, wouldn't
that be
it?
lovely?
Yeah.
We would all love that.
And I mean, I've had many artists on here, and the thing is that we've got so many talented artists in South Australia and all over Australia.
I can't, when I watch that particular TV show you mentioned, it's astounding amount of talent in this town. I must have been a little out of touch.
Yes.
Yeah.
So many, and you know, I try and get as many as I can on, but sometimes it's not possible to do that. Now, Phil, we're going to play a track of your music now, and it is...
Big Surprise.
Correct,
Big Surprise.
Tell me about that one.
Big Surprise was the last thing I released last year. Big Surprise is about a new dad. He's got him and his wife have got a new baby girl, and it's his first child, and he's quite entranced and thrilled and over the moon and excited, and he's got this little baby girl, but then his imagination takes over, and he's thinking, the kid's going to grow up, and it's a girl, and I can see her going to primary school, and the song talks about how she'll skin her knees and she'll do all these normal things that kids do. And then he sort of gets down the track and he's going, now she's 13, 14. Oh, man alive, there's going to be boys and they're going to be knocking at the door. I better get a shotgun, sort of, you know. So that's what it's about, him getting scared about the reality of dealing with that, which, you know, it's a humorous song, and I'm quite proud of it. It's a groovy.
All right, well, shall we listen to it?
Let's do it. Just a baby girl, seeing greys and blues.
Now, that was Big Surprise, and that was by Phil Salter.
That's me.
That's you.
And you just got a message, Barbara.
Yes, I did.
We're in the middle of the song. So Ben Dale has messaged you and said you like that. You hadn't heard that song before, Ben. Thanks for that, mate. He likes the song. I love it.
Yeah, thanks, Benny. Love you lots, Benny. Come back. So, yes, that was Phil. Thanking you very much for the message. It's always good to hear feedback from some of the presenters, and Benny will be filling in very, very shortly, so it'll be great to have you back, Benny. But what a lovely song.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very, very nice. And, yes, I can see where all the lyrics and fit in.
I enjoyed like the recording of that one too, because I'm a guitar player and a banjo player. I'm a reasonably good guitar player, and I play some banjo. And I'm a sort of a hobby fiddle player and a blues harp player. And I managed to get all four on that track.
I'd like fiddling player.
Kind of good fun.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And you did all the fiddles and the banjo.
Everything except the lead guitar.
Right.
A friend of mine, Rob Pippin, did the lead guitar.
Oh, well, I know Rob.
You know Rob. Yeah, it's a small town, isn't it? You know. I've known Rob for forever. It was good fun to get all those instruments involved on that song.
Yeah, no, that was great. So we'll just do what we've got to do here and then come back.
88.7 Adelaide's Coast FM.
Barb Webb back again with Phil Salter. Now, Phil,
hello.
Your influences.
Oh, I should have written a list.
I did.
Oh, good.
Do you want to have a look at my list?
I'm influenced by Neil Young. No, seriously, yeah. Look, a lot of those acoustic players like Jim Croce in the early days and Bob Dylan. Jimmy Buffett was a big one for me. He only passed just last year. That was devastating.
I love Jimmy Buffett.
40 years of buying his music.
And you know why?
Because
I've been to Jimmy Buffett's pub in New Orleans.
Oh, wow. I haven't been to New Orleans. I got to see him in concert a few times, once in Paris and actually twice in Paris. But, Miss Jimmy, never mind. Chris Christopherson, and Leonard Cohen. The singer-songwriters, absolutely.
Yes.
The stories behind the songs. My lyrics are important to me. That's how I write, but a song always starts for me with a lyric and a story and an idea, and somehow the melody just kind of builds along the way. Yeah.
And then if you like the guest that I had last week, then she's got to put the music to her lyrics then.
Yeah, well, yeah. So she's a
versa.
lyricist first as all. Yeah. Well, some people do the other way. They write the melody, and it's like when Elton John writes with Bernie Taupin. Bernie, I think, usually gives the lyric to Elton. There's something about it's the meter and the rhythm of the lyric that usually suggests something to the musician that's writing the melody and the lyrics and the harmonies, I think. Yeah.
Well, I used to watch that program on TV that was the American program about people coming in and singing a song, and then they would put it onto a proper artist, so their songs would get released.
Oh, nice.
It's not on anymore. It was only on for a few weeks.
Right.
But I like to watch all those programs just to have a listen and see what's coming out.
Yeah.
Golly gosh. So what else would I was going to ask you about? So you play acoustic, of course.
Acoustic and electrics,
and classic rock.
Yeah.
Back to the classic rock.
Well, if I'm playing in a band, I started audition for a band last year, and they wanted me to play, and then they decided they're going to keep their original guitar player.
Right.
Never mind, But classic rock. If I'm playing other people's music, I'm playing cover stuff.
Yeah, and bluegrass.
Well, that's the influence is there on the banjo playing on Big Surprise. That was a bluegrass style banjo, which comes from my mentor and I'm proud to say, friend now, Jim Hermel, who gave me lessons when I was. He's a wonderful
yes.
guy. Taught me guitar when I was 16, then some banjo, and I've been, in touch with Jim on and off for donkey's years, and he's had a magnificent career. But anyway, if it wasn't for Jim, I wouldn't play a banjo on the bluegrass, which I love.
Yeah. All right. Well, we've got a couple more other ones that I'm going to play anyway, but. Anything sort of happening out there with shows that you're going to be doing, or not at this stage?
No, there's nothing on the horizon at the moment. My focus has very much been on the writing, and because we can self-release and publish music and doing that, and that's my focus. Yeah.
And do you just write for yourself, or do you want to write for somebody? Anybody that wants to pick up music?
Like if there was a publisher that wanted to partner me up with someone or whatever, absolutely, and
you'd be very happy to do that.
Of course, so, absolutely, yeah.
Well, that would be good. And all right, look, we've got another track of music I'm going to play now. What's this one all about?
This one is called Something Special.
Yes,
and it sort of suits your program. The title of your show being.
Let the music
lift you up. Yeah, and it's the song is exactly that. It's a song about optimism. All that you can be, all that you want to be, and more than you dreamed. You know that you can be something special. That's the chorus of the song, and I think one of the verses talks about when you were a kid. I'm quoting the lyric. Did you try and fly from the trees?
Absolutely.
That's right. And did you fish in puddles?
Yeah.
I had this image of this kid fishing in puddles. You go, why is a kid fishing in puddles? He can't catch a fish, but the kids, you've got that lovely naivety and the optimism of youth, being little kids. It's a shame we lose that when we grow up.
It is a shame.
Because when you're little, you can think it can be anything. You can be a superhero and all that. And we just kind of lose, a lot of us anyway, lose that hope along the way. I don't think I have. I'm sitting here with you, Barbara.
Well, this is right.
It's a beautiful
there's
thing.
Always hope.
Yeah, so the song is about that, just about you really can be something special. Good heavens, man, give it a go. Yeah, I'm very proud of this song.
And I think that's what it all is, because I know before I started here, I was a bit frightened to do the course. And I said to my mother at that time, I said, look, if I don't pass, I don't pass. But it opened up a whole new world for me.
In order for you to do this job, training for that you're talking about?
Yeah, I trained for this.
Right.
I don't call it a job. This is just so beautiful to be here and be involved with the Coast family, because we're all a bunch of great guys. Yeah. Females and males, it doesn't really matter.
Indeed.
We're all tarred with the same brush. We all like music.
Yes.
So we're always in a pod. Okay, so let's play something special. Something special. It was something special.
Well, thank you very much.
You're lost for words, Phil.
It doesn't happen very often, I'll tell you. Ask my wife, she'll tell you.
Now, you got to let people know where they can actually find you as well. Platforms.
Sure. Well, to hear all the streaming platforms are usual: Apple Music and Spotify, Amazon Music, all of those. I've got a YouTube channel. If you search Phil Salter Musician under any of those, you'll find me there. What else are we going to say, Barbara?
The internet, like on Google and
yeah, my website. Wake up, Phil.
Yep.
Go to website, philsalter.com, philsalter.com. Got all the information on there, all the links to all of the places where you can hear my music and other contact information. So philsalter.com.
And they can buy your music.
They can buy, on
Spotify
and
Apple
AmRap.
Music.
That's more the radio stations, isn't it? The AmRap?
AmRap is radio stations, yeah.
But the general public can buy on Apple Music. It's probably the most convenient place, in my experience, to buy tracks. Yeah.
See, I don't do Apple.
No?
I won't pay big firms for my...
Oh. Well, you download my songs from Spotify, so that obviously works. Yeah.
Yes, it does work. Very much so, it does work. So if anybody wants to buy your music...
I don't
as you said.
Yeah, that's where to go.
Okay,
yeah.
All right. And they can watch you on YouTube?
Watch me on YouTube. like, as they always say, like and follow and so on and so forth. Love to hear from folks. Those comments are more than welcome. There's a spot on my website, actually. You can leave some comments. Perhaps, hey, Ben, go to my website and leave a comment. leave a comment there.
Yeah, well, actually, I think Benny probably will, and I will send him who you are, so that he can check you out.
It's been a lot of good things have been happening. Like it catches up with you. I can track. You mentioned AMRAP, and I, as an artist, I can log in and see what's going on around the world and where I'm being played. And I see that I'm being played in the UK. I've been played in the Netherlands, in the US quite a lot. New Zealand, hello Royster, there's a fellow in New Zealand does a show, really supports me a lot.
Well, they're part of Australia anyway.
Indeed.
We always call them ours.
Across the ditch.
Yeah, across the Dutch.
Across the ditch. Germany. So
that's excellent.
It's a thrill. It's the amazing world we live in. That we have our internet, and the little people like myself, we can self-publish our music. We don't have contracts and record companies, whatever. We can do it ourselves and get it out there, and with help from the publicists. Get the music out there, and all of a sudden it comes back at you and you find out. I just logged on. I hadn't logged on to AMRAP for a while. I logged on yesterday, and in the last 14 days, 4 or 5 plays in Germany, and just it's fantastic.
Which is good, because it does get your music out there, and it just expands.
Do you know what? The thing for me is, I still find it quite amazing or flattering. It's quite obvious, but if someone plays my song, adds it to a playlist, they've listened to it, they've liked it, and they think it's worthy of playing. Now, that's bleeding obvious, but to me it's flattery. Every time I see it, you go, wow, how about that? I did that, and you never know if you're going to get to do that.
Well, that's right. I mean, apart from that, I listen to every track that I download, and I like my hard copies. You can't beat your hard copies. Because
look, I'd love to have some hard copies. It'll come, like I'm just getting into a situation now, I think, in life where so many distractions through. Well, I've been playing since I was a kid. I'm in that time and space now, and coming into it even more. Like, I won't be working for the man anymore. Hey, you're working for them.
Yeah, exactly.
Not doing it, and now I've finally got the time to start, get back to the recording and do more promotional work and build the thing, because it's the thing I mentioned earlier. There is a momentum out there that, like they say, you roll the ball down and it gets bigger and bigger, and eventually it won't stop, sort of thing. And even though I've been a bit challenged to get things done, to get recordings happening, and on some days I go, oh, what's the point, But then you log on to AMRAP and you see the plays, and Barbara rings me up, and they say the Nashville record, all that stuff, Nashville record companies and so on. So, I'm looking forward to it. Now's the time.
Yeah, and
Barbara,
I think it is even better because you're an Adelaide boy.
Indeed, born and bred.
Down by the beach.
We live down, my wife and I, down by the beach near Brighton.
I know.
Brighton,
I know.
Walking on the beach this morning with Louis. Hello, Louis, are you listening? Louis the French Bulldog.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Lord Lewis.
Yes. But yes, down Brighton. I mean, I spent many years down at Brighton.
Yeah, you were saying, we were talking the other day.
Many years. Yes.
And your dad owned
My dad
property
owned
somewhere there?
153.
There you go.
Corner of Bindara and the Esplanade.
Yeah.
It's now a 3-story.
We'll walk down there. When we go for a walk tonight, we'll go past and have a look.
Yes, you go and say, hello, Cecil Norm Hancock. Yes, he would have got about $1 million, if not more, for that block of land.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yes, indeed.
But so, Brighton's just a beautiful place to be, and anywhere near the beach is. And I grew up in Plimpton Park, Brayville, Morphettville. It was all one suburb until they kept changing the name from Brayville to Morphettville to Plimpton Park. So I'm a local girl for many, many years.
Indeed.
Many years. And I'm not 16 anymore.
We're not. Oh, no.
But, life is good.
Well, it's funny, actually. We all get older, and I was intrigued because, not to go on about it too much, but to have this record company, Nashville, contact me. Oh, it was very exciting. So we chatted emails back and forth, and there was a questionnaire they wanted to know about me, which is fine. Happy to tell them virtually anything about me. And shortly after that, the emails stopped. And I'd swear they figured out, well, I'd not figured out, I told them, how old are you? And I told them how old I was. I reckon they figured I was too old. I can't figure out why they would show interest. They've obviously heard my music, seen my video clips, liked me, seen the way, oh, this guy's organised. But I can't imagine why else. Because I don't look my age, do I, Barbara? No. So
no, I would have said 18.
18, thank you, Barbara.
Yes.
Yeah, it's good. I'll leave my MasterCard on the desk when I leave.
Checkbook,
thanks for that.
Yes.
Where was I? Yeah, it's the only reason I can think that someone would change their mind because I'm not that young anymore. Anyway,
I know, but it's just the way life goes. Sometimes you don't make hay until you get to an age where you've got the time.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty. If that was happened, it's their loss, isn't it?
Of course it is their loss, and it's our game.
They did say for the time being, you never know. Well, this is the whole thing, but the way the universe is working at the moment, I just never know what's going to happen. It's very, very exciting now just to have the time and to be getting on with it. I feel like sitting here today with you was like the beginning of the next bit. Absolutely, yeah.
It's the rise up.
Sounds like there's a song in there somewhere,
well, I think there's a few songs out there called Rise Up, but it is a Rise Up song, you got to write one of those. That would be really good.
Indeed.
Well, Phil, we've got another track of your music we're going to play. Now, tell us a bit about this one. This is a little bit of an unusual track.
This is Genoa's set, and Barbara, you're the only of the few people that knew how to say Genoa, which was amazing. A Genoa is the big sail on the front of a sailboat.
Correct,
apparently.
Yes.
Most people don't know that. So the song's called Genoa Set. I wrote this quite a long time ago. It's been recorded for a while, but it's only been released, it was 2 years ago, a bit less than 2 years ago. It was about, finding lost friends and dragging them back into your life. Oh, that's what I was feeling at the time, losing track of people, and life's busy and it takes you away from the people that you should have stayed around. That's sort of the essence of it, really. And it talks about being with the friends and having a champagne and getting sunburned, really, and going on a boat. Where are we going? We're going to Manukau, which I think is a New Zealand island, or we're going to Manukau because we're together and we're sailing together now, and it's a great time. Speaking of Jimmy Buffett,
Yes.
Sailing songs. I think Jimmy I don't think he heard this one.
Right. What a pity.
What a pity. So Genoa Set, starts off with the seagulls and the boats and the sailing.
Which is really, really lovely. So, Phil, I want to thank you so much on behalf of Adelaide's Coast FM for coming in and spending your afternoon here with me and my beautiful listeners out there.
We've had a lovely time. Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome.
Fantastic.
And anytime, we'll keep in touch.
Well, when I get some new songs, we're coming back.
Absolutely, yes. All right, let's play Genoa's Set. That's one thing I do like to hear is the seagulls and the sea in the background there with Genoa's Set. So thank you to Phil Salter for coming in and spending the afternoon with me. He has now left, it's like Elvis left the building. Phil has left the building. So thank you so much for that, Phil, and we'll catch up with you very, very shortly as well. It is now 19 minutes to 5, so we'll do these.
Thanks to everyone.